SMYHL, which stands for Sankirtan Mahayagya Harinam Lifestyle, is based on the life and teachings of Gauranga Mahaprabhu as explained by Srila Prabhupada. So just making that clear right from the beginning, that's who we are, what we do, because sometimes people wonder how is it that Nityananda Prabhu is dressed like a karmi. It's not that, it's how we do smile. And I'm going to explain this again. First of all, I want to acknowledge Jagannath, Lord Jagannath, who I call Jagannath as a friend, who is himself Lord Krishna, who actually is the only form of Krishna that goes through all three different pastimes of Krishna, whether it's Vrindavan Leela, whether it's Mathura Leela, whether it's Dwarka Leela, like that. And very merciful form of God, very merciful form of Kalachandji, of Krishna, whoever we have as our name for Krishna. And since he's come into our program, which is approximately a little over 3 weeks ago, by the graces of Anand Prabhu's sister-in-law, who we are now speaking to make more of these 3D art, you might say. We found that since he's come, just miraculous things have happened. And today's program, you'll see, is a little different from all the ones we've had in the past, including last week. It's just getting sharper and sharper and sharper until it becomes so sharp that, people will get it the first time they attend a program. They'll, okay, we now know what this is all about, like that. So I want to say welcome to all of you who are here in person and all of us who are online. How many people are online, Prabhuji? 5 people online right now. So 5 and 8 of us. 8 of us? Yeah, 8 of us. 3, 6, 8, yeah. 13 right now. More people will join as time goes. The ideal number for this program is between 10 and 15. The minimum is 2, and the maximum is 20, just so you know. So how all this started is that Srila Prabhupada who came to this world, his coming to this world is way more than miraculous. If you hear the story of how it came to be that he came to this world, we'll realize that any one of us, however remotely we can touch Srila Prabhupada or Srila Prabhupada's energy, gives us the greatest of all fortunes, really the greatest of all fortunes. His heart was that Krishna had come 5,000 years ago, and Krishna's purpose of coming was to reclaim the living entities, because the living entities wandered into the material world and then realized that they weren't in the best of all places, right? We figured out it's not the best of all places. So Krishna wants his children and his beloveds home again. He wants them back home again. And so he came personally, and he made it very easy. Pretty much in all of his pastimes, there'll be a lot of, dancing, singing, playing games, doing pastimes. There were very attractive pastimes. I mean, it's just mind-blowing, blissful pastimes, right? So his message in the Bhagavad Gita is, I've come and see how I'm dancing with my friends, and I'm playing with my friends. You also come and join the dance and the game. You come and join me, like that. That's the doorbell, right? Good, you got a great doorbell. So, Hare Krishna. That's all right, come right in. We just started. Please take a seat. It takes a while to stop. Yeah, that's all right. Okay. All right, that's okay. No issues. The holy names of the Lord are very, very efficacious. They create great results. So he did that, and a lot of people took advantage and actually went back to Godhead. And the program continued, and then about 200 years later, the program started waning, sort of dying. And so then Krishna decided he'll come himself as a devotee, because he figured that people were finding it very hard to become devotees. Because, Krishna himself sets a very high standard in the Bhagavad Gita, Sarva Dharman Parityaja Mamekam Sharanam Braja. So he decided, let me show them the way to become the best devotee in the easiest possible way. So he comes as Gauranga Mahaprabhu, and he explains the science of Krishna consciousness, the knowledge of Krishna consciousness, the application of that knowledge, and how to create amazing value from that knowledge, which, by the way, is the correct definition of education. The English dictionary, unfortunately, does not have a full definition of education. It sort of struggles to figure out what education means, And most people struggle. What is education? You'll see a lot of different explanations given. But what it has become today is more academics. Education is becoming more like academics, like that. Like I went to law school, they taught me law, but it's really academics. Then I have to go and intern and practice, and then I become an attorney, right? Like that. But that is not what education was meant to be. And Lord Chaitanya in the Sikshashtaka, the 8 verses, the only 8 verses that he wrote, right in the very first verse explains that the holy name is the heart and soul of all education. He gives sort of 7 purposes of chanting the holy name, 7 gifts of chanting the holy name. And the 4th gift, sitting right in the middle of the 7, is that the holy name is the heart and soul of all education. So the word used there is vidya, like that. Now, vidya doesn't just mean knowledge. Vidya also means the application of the knowledge, gyan, vigyan. If you add gyan and vigyan, then that becomes vidya, except that in education, because we're in the material world, you then have to create some value out of that application of that knowledge. So if you have knowledge, and then you applied the knowledge, but no value came out after applying the knowledge, that is not education. That is your misunderstanding, your ignorance, whatever else at play. You see what I'm saying? So really education means knowledge, the application of knowledge, and creating value. And the best value is, of course, the greatest value, which is massive value, which is actually supreme absolute truth. Supreme absolute truth in Sanskrit is called Param Satya or Parabrahman, like that. And that is to say, when you say Param Satya, Parabrahman, you're talking about Krishna. That is Krishna. Krishna is the supreme absolute truth, like that. God has 2 features, the feature of a controller and the feature of the lover. The lover feature is the higher feature, because when you control, you cannot love. For example, no one will say, my boss loves me, because the boss controls you. Even if he says, I love you, the guy's not going to believe it, right? The employee's not going to believe that. Okay, you can say that. And employee might also say, I love you too, but that's not real love, and that's more just a game of, in a sense, like a business, right? I do something for you, you do something for me, right? That's transactional. Love is not transactional. Love is one way. If I love somebody, it is not because they love me that I love them. If I love them because they love me, that's transactional. That's like a business, right? I give you a product, you give me money. And hopefully you give me 10 times more value than what I gave you, so I come out winner in the end. You see what I'm saying? Like that. So Lord Chaitanya came and gave the knowledge and made it very simple. What was his process? Just chant the holy names of the Lord. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Like that. Take other names as well. Govinda, Madhusudan, so many nice names, right? And Prabhupada extended that list and said you can talk about Christ, Allah, take names like that. That's fine. But then what happened is, about 200 years after Lord Chaitanya left, the same thing happened. People again started losing faith in Krishna consciousness, in God consciousness, in the highest form of spiritual faith, like that. You might say the highest form of religion. Religion, Prabhupada defines as love of God. If you love God, that's religion. Everything else is not religion. It's only love of God that is religion, like that. And whatever comes from love of God, like that. So then, now that even that didn't work, Lord Chaitanya didn't work, so Lord Krishna then decided it's time to send Prabhupada. So Lord Nityananda made a prediction that a great Senapati Bhakta of Lord Chaitanya will come, and he will inundate the world with God consciousness. And the proof is in what happened in the mid-60s. Prabhupada came to the West and set up ISKCON, set up Krishna consciousness in a way that the whole world came to know about Krishna, came to know about God, came to know about Gauranga Mahaprabhu, like that. Excuse me. So then, when Prabhupada was here, Prabhupada knew that what will happen is, over a period of time, again, people will lose interest and forget. So he wanted an education system to be set up that would actually promote knowledge in such a way that that knowledge would be spiritual knowledge, because it would be knowledge that will be sustainable knowledge, knowledge that wouldn't die with a person or die over a period of time, like that. So he set up that type of sustainable knowledge. And he wanted to talk about that sustainable knowledge. And then the application of that knowledge, right? And then the value that it creates. So Prabhupada wanted an education system to be set up from the womb of the mother, education starting in the womb of the mother for the child, to even beyond death. How can you help someone who already departed? How can you help them as well? So this is where that instruction was given to a number of his disciples, one of whom happened to be Krishna Goswami Maharaj. Radhanath Maharaj also knew about that, others also. So Tamal Krishna Maharaj, on the day I got initiated, asked that we start this education program, particularly a university which would be recognized as having this type of information and giving massive value as a result to the world, like that. So that's how we started this program, and the idea was to build a university, and everything we're doing sort of lines up with that as the end purpose, that we get up a university, and then from the university will come the whole education system from cradle to grave, like we're saying. So, in this program, the formula we are using for education is that success in life comes if three things happen. The first is that one should have freedom in life to do what they want to do. If you don't have freedom, you cannot create massive value, because you're controlled, then whoever is controlling you is creating the massive value, if they're creating any massive value at all. And they're not. Those people who are controlling are not really interested in creating massive value, they're interested in controlling. You see what I'm saying? Massive problems. Sorry? Massive problems. Yeah, instead they're creating massive problems, so massive misery. You see what I'm saying? Like that. The second part is that we should be resourceful and have resources. Resourcefulness means the ability in any circumstance to create value from that circumstance. That's resourcefulness. And that's its real definition. In many ways, we are going to redefine the English language. So now we'll have a better understanding of what words really mean. But resourcefulness simply means that you take any situation, and if a person can take that situation and turn it into value, that means that person is a resourceful person. And what do they generate? They generate resources, which is what everybody is chasing, right? The greatest resource that people are chasing in this world is money, right? Everybody wants more money, more money, more money, more money, like they say, right? But others are chasing other things as well, like, for example, ISKCON is chasing bhakti as a cause, right? They want everybody to have bhakti, love of God. That's a resource. You see what I'm saying? Some people are chasing intellectual resources, right? We have a patent office, this, that, and the other. I think it's too loud, Prabhuji. You might bring it down a little bit. Yeah. So, some people are chasing property, right? One example is Bill Gates. He wants to be the largest landowner in the whole world. And he's got thousands and thousands, I think. I wouldn't be surprised if he's already reached 1 million acres or something around the world that he owns, right? Because he felt that was going to be the resource that actually, is that Arvind Prabhu? Arvind Prabhu? But Arvind? Nice. Hare Krishna Prabhu, come right in. Come right in. Please take a seat. There's a chair right here. Okay, now we have 14 people, 9 here and 5 online. Okay, we still have 5 people online, or the numbers changed? 8 now. So 9 here, 8 there, 17. Nice, very good. So people are chasing different types of resources in this world. And so what allows people to do that is either businesses or ventures or something like that, right? So that takes care of resourcefulness and resources, which is the second part. And then the third part is a support system, because nobody can do everything on their own, right? Let's just take the temple that we have here, our temple, the Hare Krishna temple in Dallas. It's not possible for one devotee to, make sure the deities are taken care of, the prasadam, the restaurant, the preaching, the maintenance of the temple, the finances, right? The harinams that we do on the streets, so many things that the temple does, right? Receiving guests, doing festivals, celebrating appearances and disappearances, and can you imagine if there was only one devotee doing all of that? You know what I'm saying? It's not even possible. And if you really want to succeed, you need to create teams. You need to create people who can work together, who can cooperate and work together. So we call that a support system. So we're starting these 3 things with the idea that over a period of time we'll build a community around the world who will support the university, who will help make the university happen properly resourced, and with a nice support system so it work. But we're doing that for the community right now. So right now we want to help people become free so that they can have their own choice. They can choose what they want to do. Because the 2 golden rules of success are do what you love what you do. Those are the 2 golden rules of success. If you don't do what you love and love what you do, you're not operating at peak. You're operating at less than peak. You get the idea? Makes sense, right? So to give that freedom is where we started SMYHL. So the SMYHL program is about freedom. Then we have something we call Atamba Academy that talks about resourcefulness and resources and adds a support system called My Mastery. Just like people talk about masterminds in this world, mastering people, minds who come together and do amazing things coming together like that. So that's called masterminds. We call ours My Mastery because it's not just the mind, but your intelligence, your ego, or your emotions. If you bring them together, that's very powerful of yourself and a number of people like that. So that's called My Mastery. So that is what will roll out the full program. So SMYHL is the first part, which deals with freedom. So how does it deal with freedom? So it deals with freedom with 5 things that we do. And you will see that as this program rolls out, right now all our SMYHL programs are like this. This is like almost like a Bhakti Vriksha type program, right? People come together, devotees come together, they do things together. But that's not typically how SMYHL will happen in the future. How SMYHL will happen in the future is 2 people get together in their own home and do these 5 things together and create amazing success. It could be 2 people, 3 people, 4 people, 5 people, depending on the family. They might invite their own friends as well, and then they can also do larger numbers. But the idea is not to do more than 15 if possible. Keep it down to 10 as best as possible. The smaller the number, the better. And do more SMYHL programs with smaller numbers of people, like that. So what are the 5 things that we do? The first thing we do is that we do kirtan, 10 minutes of kirtan. Then we speak about what are the 7 benefits of doing kirtan. When people learn the 7 benefits, they feel like, wow, I should be doing kirtan all the time. If this is what I can get out of kirtan, this is the best, most valuable thing, like that. And then we do 10 minutes of reading from Srimad Bhagavatam. And then we speak about the 5 benefits of Srimad Bhagavatam, like that. So you can see that in the papers that we gave you, the first page talks about the 7 flames, and then the next page talks about Srimad Bhagavata Mahima, means what is the value of Srimad Bhagavatam. So that's on the next page, like that. So that's the second thing that we do. And then the third thing that we do is that we talk about something called Amya, A-M-H-Y-A, that you see on the second sheet, Amya. So Amya is a 5-part process that gives us freedom, that shows us how to have freedom in life. That's what Amya does. Okay? And it also does a little bit of the next 2 stages, which is resourcement, meaning resourcefulness and resources, and my mastery, which is support. So it does all 3, but it focuses on the first one, how to get freedom in life. So that's the third thing that we do. And then the fourth thing that we do is we do repeat kirtan, do kirtan again, because it is the process of this age. So we do that for 10 minutes. And then the fifth thing that we do is we all share some nice prasadam together. So that's the fifth thing. So these are the 5 things that we do in SMYHL. Okay? Typically, if you do it by yourself, like just say the 2 of you decided you can do it at home together, you would spend 1 hour a week doing that. It would take only 1 hour a week, which most people have, right? It's a good thing to do. If you did that, the child will benefit, because the child will learn SMYHL. And once you see the benefits, the 12 benefits, 7 from the holy name and 5 from Srimad Bhagavatam, you'll just think, wow, this is amazing. And then what Amya talks about is how life happens in this world. The child is already prepared when the child comes out, right? The child already knows, oh, that's how life works. When I come out, this is what's going to happen. So the child becomes smart right from birth. So you bring up a great child. Of course, when devotees have children, these children are not ordinary children. These are children who are coming from the heavenly planets. And they're taking birth because they want to do some great devotion on this planet and help others become happy in their lives, truly happy in their lives, like that. Okay, so that is actually like an introduction that I wanted to give. You can see this is a little bit of a different introduction than I would give in the past. But this sort of encapsulates it really nicely. Any questions, anything before we start doing kirtan and other things? Yes, Nand Braj Prabhu.
In Amya, what exactly do you do? Kirtan, you do kirtan, and then we talk about the benefits of it.
Right.
In Amya, what exactly does that look like when you talk with each other?
Very good, very good. Yeah. So in Amya, I'm going to explain that fully when I talk about Amya.
Okay.
But one of the A's in Amya, which is the last A, because Amya is A-M-H-Y-A, right? The first A stands for added hearts, the M stands for Miset, which means understanding your consciousness at all 11 levels, and understanding how life works, what is the formula for success, like that. The H stands for do things from the heart, because the Lord is sitting in the heart. So if we do things combined with the Lord, great things will happen, right? The Y stands for understanding your identity, and then the last A stands for something called A5. So in this A5, what we do is we take small actions to create major results. And these major results increase the actions of the future. They become bigger and bigger and bigger, and the results become bigger and bigger and bigger, and you sort of create a whole movement starting with one small action, right? So in AMYA, we track that. How are you doing? And so what we're doing, thank you for asking the question, because what we're doing now is we're creating an app. So you'll have the app to be able to track yourself during the week. You meet once a week, but for the rest of the week, you use the app to track yourself, how you're doing, day by day. Because whatever you measure, you will achieve.